Hi, good morning, everyone. I am Kristen Dearden, and we'd like to thank you for joining us this morning. We have a great program here today, and I have 7:30 right now, so let's get started. And Roger, I'll switch it over to you.
Thanks, Kristen. I appreciate it. Good morning, everybody. We're really excited to have you on board here for this Zoom. We wanted to give you some information to launch this Grassroots Action Forum. So a couple things. Adam, do you want to forward the next slide? So with the Zoom, and obviously this is less than ideal, but we're using technology to come to you out across Iowa, and we really want this webinar to be as engaging as possible. So you can click on the chat icon at the bottom, and you can put your questions in or comments, and we want to hear from you, and that's the way that we can be interactive with you, and we'll be monitoring that throughout the webinar, and hope to answer any of those questions. Next slide, Adam. Thank you. So this action forum that we're going to have, and you'll be hearing about when that is here at the end of the webinar. We really want to come to you. We want to get closer, Iowa Soybean Association, closer to your farm. We like to say that at Iowa Soybean, we think about farmers first. It's really who we are. And we all know that what's really important to farmers is thinking about their production system, how to be as productive as possible, the management systems that go into your cropping system each year. How can we adjust those cropping systems so that you're capturing efficiencies? That all impacts your profitability. But we're also thinking about your resources, your soil, your water. We want to build stronger soils and cleaner water. And ISA has a whole raft of programs that can assist you with this. And so this action forum is really about trying to engage in project development, which could involve research or implementation activities. Of course, here at Iowa Soybean, we have a big team. We also do advocacy, and so Michael Dolch is involved in this, and the producer services folks. So this is really a team ISA effort. And what you're going to hear about here in a little bit is what we hope to do at these action forums. We've been preparing to develop more projects, engage more farmers across Iowa, and we're really excited about the investments we've made and the progress that we're making and the progress we need to make. So the ISA strategic plan that's under the ISA board specifically talks about engaging more farmers, bringing more value to those farmers that are actively engaged. And then while we invest checkoff dollars, we're also trying to add those dollars and leverage those with grant funds and other funds to bring more resources directly to you on your farm. So I'm really pleased to welcome you here to this webinar, and I'm going to turn it over to Adam Keel. He's our Director of Conservation and External Programs, and he's going to tell you some more about what we have in mind. Thank you.
All right, thanks for the introduction, Roger. As the webinar goes on here, feel free, as Roger said, to ask any questions that you have. The purpose of the call today is to prepare you for attending one of the in-person meetings that we have coming up on August 18th and 19th, and the details we'll share at the end of the presentation. As Roger described, ISA's strategic plan hopes to engage more farmers. And the action forums that we have coming up at the end of the month are one of the ways that we hope to get feedback from you and develop more
interactions with you, your neighbors, your cropping district, your watershed, etc. So just to review why you should attend an action forum or why you should engage with ISA in driving more action locally. Again, we want to come closer to your farm, whether that's a staff that's based in a cropping district that's close to you, or a project involving research, either conservation or agronomy. We want to do more of that closer to you. When it comes down to it, we want to drive action on your farm to make it more profitable, productive, environmentally sound. And if we can do that with you, with folks in your watershed or in your district, that's the direction that we want to go. As you know, we have quite a bevy of resources at ISA, and we hope to leverage those and drive more action locally. But we really want those ideas to come from you, and we're here to support the development of those ideas. So how we got here, why are we doing the action forums in cropping districts 1, 2, 4, and 5? As Roger said, and I reiterated, our ISA strategic plan is challenging us to engage more farmers and find ways to leverage the soybean checkoff. And ultimately, the purpose of that is to bring additional value to you as an Iowa farmer. Over the past few months, we've secured funding to develop out more local projects, and specifically in cropping districts 1, 2, 4, and 5. But we have other opportunities across the state that we're happy to pursue as well. But we have a specific focus in those 4 cropping districts. Also, as a result of that funding, we developed some conservation roadmaps for those districts, and many of you probably have seen those or been asked to review those. But if not, they're available on our website. So what should you expect by attending one of these 4 grassroots action forums? We'll share more information and daylight the findings of those conservation roadmaps. And in those documents and in the in-person meetings on the 18th and 19th, we'll describe a vision for advanced cropping systems that involve productive agronomic systems, robust conservation, and also talk about ways that we can engage you in more advocacy, whether that's for more funding, policies that support the work that you want to do or want to see in on your farm or in your district or in the state. So we'll spend some time going through those roadmaps and talking about a vision that we have for the future that we think hopefully aligns with your goals as well. The main point of the Action Forum, as we've talked about, is really to gather your ideas for us to help develop out projects and efforts locally, whether that's, again, on your farm through research or in your county or watershed or district. We want to hear from you. And these action forums we see as a way to have one-on-one or small group conversations that lead to the development of those ideas. So, for example, we want to hear if you have a local watershed where you would like us to come and help develop a watershed plan and or bring in funding for implementation of additional conservation practices. We've done this across Iowa in many watersheds. We've got 23 watershed plans on the books right now across the state, and those plans have brought in millions of dollars to help support local farmers advance their conservation goals. Those funding resources could come from private dollars, state dollars, federal dollars. We're here and we want to do more of that across the state. Another opportunity is to do agronomy studies with our team here at ISA that are experts in developing out trials on farms. So if you've got some products, some tools, some technology that you've wanted to try or see more research conducted on, we're happy to put together small groups of individuals in your area that could explore those research questions that you have related to agronomy questions and production questions. Another opportunity is to engage ISA through our communication and outreach channels. We're always looking for farmers to share their story, whether that's production stories or conservation stories, or just great stories about the work that you're doing on your farm or in your neighborhood. We're always looking for people that are willing to participate in our communications efforts that we have at ISA. Another opportunity that we want to highlight is participating in our policy and advocacy work at ISA. We rely on Michael Dolch, who's Director of Policy here at ISA, to lead a lot of that advocacy work. But we think there's many more opportunities to engage with farmers and have farmer voices more heard, whether it's in Des Moines or in DC or locally. We're here to help amplify your voice and share that message that you feel is important to share. We also have quite a robust analytical team at ISA who are constantly developing tools and technology to help you evaluate decisions on your farm related to cropping system changes. So whether that's a tool to help you decide whether or not variable rate planting technology is something you want to pursue, or a new product that you're thinking about and you want to see how the cost benefit analysis looks, we're always looking for farmers to test out those tools for us and or provide guidance on what tools are needed. So we've got a few tools on our website right now that are available for your use, and maybe you've used those. But we're interested in hearing more about what you want and what you need, as well as helping us test out those tools that we're in the process of developing now. One example that we'll have coming in the not too distant future is a tool that will help farmers analyze soil health test results that they've taken. I'm pretty excited about that. I think that's an area where farmers can really learn a lot, and having a tool that will help you interpret what the results mean, I think will be really helpful for Iowa farmers to think about practices that improve soil health. And lastly, if these are some of the ideas that we've brought forward to get you thinking, but if you've got other ideas or other tracks of thinking that we're not bringing up in the in-person meeting on the 18th or 19th, we're more than open to welcoming your ideas for direction, whether it's related to anything conservation related or agronomy. These are just some ideas to get the juices flowing, so to speak, but we're open to any other ideas that you all have about what we should be pursuing. So some details about the meetings themselves. You'll be receiving or have received information about these in-person Grassroots action forums, but these are the 4 locations. So on August 18th, we're having a meeting in the morning in Spencer and in Clarion in the afternoon. And on Wednesday, August 19th, we'll be meeting in Carroll in the morning and Ames in the afternoon. We are requesting RSVPs. So the information about RSVP and how to RSVP should be in the invite, but you can always call Kristen Dearden at ISA or send her an email, and her information is listed below. We do have limited space, which I'll talk about in a moment. So again, we'd ask you to please RSVP. And we can't ignore social distancing that some folks are concerned about. We know that everybody has a different point of view, so we want to respect that. But these will be in-person meetings. The meetings will be held in locations that are open air or have enough space that we can spread out a bit. So I want to mention that. We are looking to have about 20 people at each of these meetings, and not that we don't want more, but we want people that want to be engaged and want to provide those ideas to us. So if you've got ideas and you want to come, please register as soon as you can. We want to hear from you. And if for some reason you can't attend or are worried about the social distancing, simply reach out to ISA staff. We're more than happy to have a one-on-one conversation with you and help surface those ideas that way as well. The action forums we felt were a way to get our staff out and talk with you in a more of an intimate one-on-one type setting or a small group setting. But that doesn't mean we can't have a phone conversation either, or a visit to a farm. So please feel free to reach out with any questions that you have, or suggestions that you have for ideas that we could or should pursue in your area or on your farm. We want to hear those ideas. So with that said, I'll flip over to the details again so you have those. But you'll also be receiving those, as I mentioned, in a formal invite. But you can also just RSVP directly to Kristen as well. So maybe we'll open it up for questions that folks have. Again, if you have any questions, please use the chat or the Q&A option that you see on the bottom or the top of your screen. It depends on the platform you're using where that feature is at. But hopefully you got a flavor for what we're trying to accomplish with getting out in the cropping districts and getting closer to you and bringing these ISA resources that I think are really valuable to you and closer to you, so that we can benefit you and your farmer neighbors and the watersheds and the cropping districts. So with that, maybe Kristen, are there any questions that we have from folks that are online?
There are no questions right now, but we are open if you want to put that in the chat. Just want to reiterate that we'd love to have you and see you at the in-person meetings. Please RSVP and spread the word. We'd love to have your friends, neighbors, cohorts come and be with us to hear all of the activities that we have for you. And as they said, Michael Dolch is going to be there for the policy advocacy part. Producer Services is going to be there. So again, love to see you. We have one question. When will the soil analysis tool be available?
Yeah, good question. That's a project that we just received funding from the USDA to develop that tool. And thanks for bringing that up, Jeff. That's a specific tool where we need farmers to help test that tool out. So we can work to get your name with Peter, who's going to be developing that tool. That'll be probably over the next few months, maybe 5 to 6 months possibly, and then looking to have some farmers participate in analyzing how that tool works and give Peter some feedback. So good comment on that, Jeff. I'll add your name, if you don't mind, to an email to Peter and let him know that you may be interested in that particular tool. So thanks for the question. Looks like we have another comment in the chat about ISA's involvement in the raccoon WMA. I'll address that. So involved, no, not directly. The raccoon WMA is for soil districts, counties, and cities. So those are the members of the WMA. We do have a project that's starting in the North Raccoon that was funded by the NRCS. That's about a $10 million project that brings additional conservation opportunities to farmers in that watershed. And the North Raccoon WMA is a partner of ours on that project, and they've contributed match dollars to help deliver that project. I'm more than happy to talk more about the raccoon WMA. I know that's a kind of a hot topic. So perhaps we can either connect offline or feel free to send me a note and we can talk more in detail about how ISA is involved. And Jack, thanks for the interest in the soil health project as well. And it looks like Suzanne chimed in from ISA that's a 3-year project. So it'll be going on a little bit, but it likely will be starting in October. So there's a bit more details about that. And Pat, thanks for your interest as well. I'll make note of that too.
We have another Q&A. With all of these products that stimulate root growth, how do we know which to use? Should planters box treatments and in-furrow products be used together or separately?
Yeah, good question, Dave. I'll have Scott follow up with you directly. I think he's probably the most knowledgeable on that. But that's a question that, you know, if that's going to require additional research, happy to do that. If it's a question we can answer now for you, we're happy to do that as well. But I'll connect Scott with you and we'll get that question answered for you.
And Chuck White sent in a Q&A. I am looking for details on Bayer carbon credits.
Yeah, Chuck, that's a good question. I'm looking for answers on that as well. As many farmers saw, Bayer made an announcement about a carbon program maybe a week or two ago. And as you probably know, Chuck, there's other programs out there that are offering carbon payments to farmers as well. And we'll probably continue to see more of that. So that's an area that I've heard from farmers that we need to probably do some more daylighting on. So I appreciate the question, and we'll work to figure out ways that we can share some information. But I'll give you a call, Chuck, and talk to you individually about the Bayer program and share what I know about that. All right. Looks like we kind of don't have any more questions at the moment. Again, we hope to see you at the in-person meetings on the 18th or 19th, but if you can't attend, again, reach out with those ideas. We've got some notes here for folks that are interested already in the soil health tool. We'll make sure that we get those folks noted and the information shared with the appropriate people. And again, thanks for your time this morning, and we are looking forward to seeing you in a couple weeks. Thank you.
Thank you.